here to do your shadow reading for June. I'm going to start by using some Palo Santo on the cards. By the power of 3, let me see what must be revealed to be healed. By the power of 3, let me see what must be revealed to be healed. By the power of 3, let me see what must be revealed to be healed. Okay. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. We're going to start on this shadow reading with a Hush deck, followed by Murder of Crows for clarification, and the Dark Mirror. This is a shadow reading, just so that you're aware. The monthly readings are set aside on the YouTube page, YouTube channel, and you can click on those to find out what the general reading is. This reading is about the things that must be revealed to be healed, the things we keep secret, the things we don't tell anyone, the conversations we are not having, the aspects of self that we don't like to admit are there. Any deep trauma, that's what we're here to talk about, okay? So, going into this, just know that, and if that is not for you, you can certainly click off. This will not resonate with everyone. If it does not resonate with you, you can take what does and leave the rest behind, and check out your moon, rising, and Venus sign. You can also, again, check out the beginning of the month collective read. This is specifically for those Aquarians that need additional shadow work based on the monthly reading or anything else that is going on that Spirit wants to talk about within the Aquarius collective. I do not take jumpers from the deck. I allow Spirit to do that. Okay. Power 3, let me see. All right, we have Judgment in the center of the spread. Hierophant, crossing that. In the subconscious, 2 of Pentacles. Power 3, let me see. Power 3, let me see. Aquarius, 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 Aquarius. Power 3, let me see. 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 Let me see. Power 3, let me see. Spirit guides, let me see. Aquarius. Power 3, let me see. Hangman. Power 3, let me see. High Priestess. Power 3, let me see. Justice. Power 3. Knight of Cups. Bottom of the deck. 8 of Wands. All right. So I will read through the cards. I'm going to give you the shadow aspects of what I see and feel and intuit for this month for you guys. And I'll follow up with Murder of Crows and the Dark Mirror, okay? What I see in the spread, in the center here, this is your card. This is Judgment. You can see the little mice are chewing away on things. There are 2 white mice here. And it reminds me that in a relationship, things happen that eat away at us, right? A word said here, a word not said there. A caress missed, and I love you forgotten. Appreciation, right? Not receiving, not accepting. They're eating this white kind of cottony material here, and she's holding little stems of white cotton. And it says to me that Spirit here has given you this relationship. And there's a decision here on this relationship on whether you continue to eat away at each other or and continue down the same path that has happened before, or if you make a different choice this time around. All these little nibblings, bickerings, slights, harsh words, even in sarcasm, right? Things that we can turn around and say, I didn't intend that. That's not what I meant. I didn't say that. I think there is some separateness here between these two mice. They're not even together eating it. You know, they're each eating their own piece, and they're all very absorbed in what they're doing, and that's about it. They're not concerned with one another. They're not looking in each other's direction. They each have their own little ball of cotton that they're worried about, nibbling away at it, right? I have the sense that this is part of her garment, that the garment was made of this cloth, and it's being chewed up little by little by little by little by little. And so the decision is, do you save the garment? Do you stop from chewing on your own piece here and come together to save the garment? Does that make sense? It's a little esoteric for you guys, but... And I've got the Hierophant here as a cross card, and the Hierophant is a marriage card. I think that what Spirit is trying to communicate here is that marriage is not an easy road, an easy path, but we cannot be two independent mice chewing on our own pieces of fabric here, or the garment will fall apart. This is a blue robe, you know, and it reminds me of pictures I've seen of, and excuse the Christian reference here if that's not something that you believe in. I'm just using it as an example to illustrate what I mean. But I've seen images of Jesus in a blue robe, and marriage represents Jesus and the church, and I just feel like these two are doing their own thing, and they're separate. And this Hierophant marriage card is here to say, look, these two swallows build this nest together. They work together in tandem, right? One stays behind to care for the young. The other one goes and, you know, they build the nest, and the other one goes and gets food, and they take turns caring for the young here. There are keys here in this nest. There are two keys, and they're the keys to the kingdom. And the kingdom is theirs. They're doing this in conjunction with one another. They do have a piece of fabric here, right? But this piece of fabric is whole. It's not in little pieces. It's not in little shreds, because they're not doing it separately. They're doing it together, building this nest. Interesting. Okay. At the bottom of the spread here, I get the Two of Pentacles. You can see the bird here has pulled the pin out of the grenade. And the other bird's like, what are you doing? That's going to blow up on us. This bird doesn't really seem to care. You have a decision here whether you're going to destroy the two of you, right, by pulling the pin out of the grenade, or they, because this is in the subconscious context here. This is in the subconscious mind. It's like, let me pull that pin, see what happens. How about that? This is almost a one-upping here, you know? Watch this. I'll pull the pin out of the grenade. Then what are you going to do? What are you doing? Again, a card of two, right? The two mice, the two little birds. In the conscious mind here, we've got the Ace of Swords, and she is riding this unicorn, and she is trying to control him by pulling those reins back and digging in her heels. This is truth and clarity coming out. I want the truth. I want the truth. I want the truth. And his magic is fading here. His eyes are closing. His mouth is open. He looks as if he might just fall down in a heap. Some of his magic is in his presentation, how he comes across. And this individual trying to bridle him and ride him and pull on his reins is taking some of his magic, draining him of his magic. I want the truth. I want the truth. Here in the recent past, I get the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Knight of Pentacles is a slow-moving offer of security coming in. It can be, a financial offer, some kind of financial situation that should be in the upright here. It looks like you've had a downturn financially, that the security, the material security, is upside down right now. And it's almost as if there's bickering here around what's happened in the past. You're still trying to build the nest here. The unicorn is being restrained and bridled, where he's losing his magic, and he says, I'll just pull the pin. Then what are you going to do? On the whole thing. The sun here in the near future, this reminds me that the divine is keeping an eye on us. That messenger of the crow with the piece of fabric, and remember, they were building this nest with that piece of fabric. The divine sees what's happening here. Right? Sees what's happening with this piece of fabric and the nest building all being in one place here. The base of the spread, I get the Hanged Man. This individual is not speaking. There's no mouth. Cannot speak their truth. Cannot say what they want to say. Their ankles are tied up in the reeds. They're bound in the reeds. They can't move. All they can do is watch with eyes wide open. That's your attitude right now. All I can do is watch all of this happen with my eyes wide open. But I can't move. I'm restricted. I think that's where this pin energy is coming from, this grenade energy. High Priestess in the environment. This is a feminine energy in your environment who's connected to the divine, who has foresight and knowing. She wears a laurel wreath on her head and stars around her crown. Someone is aware of what is going on. In the hopes and fears is justice. Will I have justice here, right? You've got hornets coming in with justice. Ordinarily, this means fair and reciprocal, balanced, equal give and take. There's no equal give and take here with these two mice. They're doing their own thing. There's no equal give and take with these two birds because he's pulling the pin and this one's like, what? What are you doing? There's no equal give and take with this unicorn being ridden into the ground, right? And losing all his magic. There's no equal give and take there. This is not justice for either of these people. The ants are here, right? Ants are hive-minded. They build with one another. They know what the other one is thinking. And bees are hive-minded, right? So the justice here then would be for both of you to be on the same page and know what the other one is thinking and be on the same page about what you want. You don't have to be the same because we've got bees and ants here, but you have to be communicating in a way that you both understand what it is that you want. What fulfills the soul here? How are the ants and the bees going to communicate? Telepathically? Do we think that this telepathic communication is going to happen? It needs to be a conversation. There needs to be communication between the bees and the ants to get them on the same page. Knight of Cups is the final outcome here. Out of love, there is a rush in. And this woman, this female energy here, on the crow. Remember the crow from the sun, right? Rushes in with a sword, which indicates truth, clarity, understanding, a message. I've got a message for you. I love you, right? There's love here. This is a Knight of Cups rushing in to declare their love. Perhaps that will put you on the same page, these two people on the same page. Because the divine is sending a message here of the sun. Now, the sun is supposed to be a card of happiness and joy and self-fulfillment. This is filling your own cup first so that you have a cup to offer the other person that is full, not half empty. And vice versa, them as well, right? So the sun is being, this crow is being pierced by the sun here with this nest fabric. But in this, the nest fabric becomes a banner. This is a win. This is a banner of love here. And the crow, the messenger, is being ridden instead of the unicorn. The message of love is being ridden instead of the unicorn. I think conversation, and I think all the material things that are being used here, the cloth, the nest pieces, all of that is causing a lot of friction. But I do think in the final outcome, you guys will get on the same page as long as you have a communication that you love one another, that there is love here. And that you guys communicate truthfully about how you feel. Not about what's going on, not about each of you individually, but as a couple. You're on the same page like the ants and the bees. You have a hive mind. That's what's needed here, the hive mind mentality. And then at the bottom of the deck here is the Eight of Wands. And all these beautiful red cardinals are there, and they're all trying to win this one female cardinal who's not, as brilliant, but she is the object of the desire. This is a card of communication as well. It reminds me of the Wizard of Oz when Dorothy falls asleep in the poppies, right? And the snow falls to wake her up. And here we've got the white lilies instead of snow. And the white lilies represent purity of intention, right? Where is the purity of intention here for the relationship? Right? Where is the purity of intention here for the relationship? Or here for the relationship? The only place I see it is here. The original intention to build the nest together, to work together, to be the two keys to each other's heart in this marriage or committed relationship. That's where I see the intention. Here are the two of you. Right? And the divine knows your heart, right? There needs to be a message of love here. Or an action of love taken. Okay? All right, I'm going to get the Murder of Crows here. Aquarius. Temperance. In this card, I see 70-30, 30-70. I see her overflowing this cup, and then it will come back around, right? The intention is that it will come back around to the other person. It has to see, again, you get the Justice card again. This has to be a fair and equitable relationship where truth is spoken. You see the sword of truth here? This is integrity and truth. In order to have an even, balanced, equitable relationship that can sometimes be 70-30 one way and 70-30 the other way, or 30-70 the other way, you have to have that conversation. You have to have that communication. You have to have that mindset, that hive mindset where you're always telling each other how you are. Because this card, the Hermit, going inside and locking your spirit in a cage is not going to work. It's not going to work. If you want justice, if you want the hive mind mentality, you have to communicate. And so do they. And you have to know that sometimes you're going to have to be the 70 and they're going to have to be the 30. And vice versa. And you're going to have patience with each other, because this going in within oneself and retreating is not going to work. Hive mentality. Communicate. Communicate to get justice, okay? Let's get the Dark Mirror and get a final card for you, Aquarius, on this read. And I know that these readings can be a little harsh. That's why they're shadow work, right? These are the things that we're not saying, we're not communicating. These are the things that are going on. We don't like to admit to ourselves. If this is resonating with you, you know exactly what I mean. And it's hard. It's hard to have those conversations. It's hard to put ourselves out there. It's hard to risk being vulnerable. It's hard, you know? But there are two keys on that Hierophant card. There was intention to build the nest together, you know? There's love here. But somebody's silent here. Somebody's having the magic sucked out of them. Peaceful among the thorns. So no matter what happens between the two of you, no matter what transpires around you, whether you lose your financial footing or not, right? The only way to be peaceful among the thorns is to have these conversations constantly, you know, to be of a hive mind, to know we can get through this together. Our original intention was to build this nest together, right? I'm not going to go off on my own and pull any grenade pins. We're not going to be separate from one another working on our own thing. I'm not going to bridle you and suck all the magic out of you, right? Peaceful among all these thorns. And the way we get peace is how? The way we get peace, and this is 2 + 6, this is 26, it's an 8, right? This is infinity, is loving oneself. You see how he's here in meditation? It's loving oneself first. So you have a full cup to give, and so do they. All right? Have the conversations that you guys need to have. You know, express your hopes and your fears and your dreams to one another. You're building this nest together. You each have each other's key to your heart. So, and they have the key to yours. And yeah, there's a lot of love here, Aquarius. So, hope that helped. Hope it resonated. And if it did, if you could hit the like and share this video. I'm more concerned about these videos getting shared, primarily because there's a lot of deep, heavy energy in these readings, these shadow readings I've been doing this month. And anyone in this situation who needs to hear it, it would be really helpful if they saw it. It gets in front of them so that they can get the message and they understand what they need to do. And that was my hope with sharing it with you now. And if you share it with someone else who's in the same situation, I hope that that helps them as well. Yeah. And if you want to hear what's going to go on in the mid-month, or you want to hear any more of my readings whatsoever, you can just hit that notification button and subscribe. And that way it will pop up in your feed the next time I upload, which will be the mid-month. And hopefully some of this has been resolved by then. I wish you a good June. I hope that this is helpful again, and that, you know, you guys have that conversation, because like I said, I'm going to reiterate it. There's a lot of love here. Okay. All right. So build that nest together. Be of a hive mind. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Okay. Love you guys. Take care. I'll talk to you in the mid-month. All right. Bye, Aquarius.